Happy Christmas, this is for you.
Thank you.
Can I use your loo?
Yes, just there.
Okay.
Star, that's what they call you. I'll always ready to get where you are.
Do a bit of you know you did good. Do a bit of Debenhams.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to BBC Newsroom Live. I'm Anita McVeigh. Debenhams has announced plans to close up to 50 stores across the UK, putting around 4,000 jobs at risk. The retailer says it's acting to strengthen its business after posting a massive annual loss of almost £500 million. The closures will take place over a 3 to 5 year period. Our business correspondent Emma Simpson has been speaking to Debenhams Chief Executive Sergio Boucher about the company's plans.
I think it's not a surprise to any of our customers that customers are actually shopping less in our stores and more online. What we're doing is we're addressing the structural shift in the industry. Our plan is very simple. We want to have fewer but better stores. We want to improve our shopping experience. We want to grow our online business, and we're doing that in a way that makes Debenhams a more profitable business for our shareholders.
You have been saying it's going to be 10 for the last year and a bit. Suddenly that's been expanded significantly to 50. What's changed, or is it just the fact that you finally grasped the nettle that you just have too much space?
I think, we've announced a 5-year plan where we could close up to 50 stores. It will depend of how the market develops. It will depend of our negotiation with the landlords. But basically, we want to get a reasonable number of stores. The 50 stores you've mentioned actually only represent 15% of our turnover.
How is this going to work? I mean, how many a year? How much are you depending on lease expiry? You don't have 50 leases expiring in the next 5 years. How are you going to do this?
Well, we have 25 lease expiries. Landlords and retailers have a common interest. We need to make the high street an exciting place, and we have started conversations with our landlords, and we prefer to have these conversations in a constructive way with our landlord partners.
And that is Sergio Boucher, the Chief Executive of Debenhams, and our business presenter Victoria Fritzs is with me now in the studio. So almost £500 million, a huge amount of money. Break that down for us.
Yeah, I mean, how on earth do you manage to lose almost £500 million when your company is only worth, just over 100 million? So, these are huge losses that we've got here. £491 million lost, we think, in 1 year, until the end of September. Now, what they've done here is they've really bitten the bullet. There was real speculation about the health of this business, about how good some of these loans were, for example, how much they were spending on debt, all those sorts of things. So what they've decided to do is look at their assets and work out how valuable these things really are. And what they've done is they've written down the value, a lot of the things that they own in terms of IT systems, all sorts of things. And so as a result, the number comes in at this whopping great figure here that we haven't seen for, 240 years of this business in operation. So a huge number, really significant for this firm. But it does sort of, in a way, put a floor under some of the speculation that we've seen. And we've actually seen the share price rise. So investors think that at least we now know where we stand when it comes to Debenhams.
Of context to it.
Exactly.
That figure of possibly up to 50 stores closing, could it really be that many? And how many job losses, if it was up to 50, how many job losses could we be talking about, Victoria?
Well, exactly. So at the moment we know they've got 165 stores across the UK. They've said today that 50 more stores will close. This is in addition to another 10 that they said earlier on in the year would close. So that takes it, if you do the maths, it's basically 1 in 3 Debenhams across the UK on high streets right up and down the country are going to disappear. That is huge. That's a huge number. We don't know which stores, and we're not entirely sure on the numbers in terms of jobs affected. We believe something along the lines of 4,000 jobs will be at risk over this 3 to 5 year period where they will start trying to shut these stores down. But it's easier said than done, and Emma Simpson, my colleague, alluded to it there in her interview with the boss. They've only got 25 leases or so up for renewal in the next 5 years, so there's no guarantee that the 25 up for renewal are the 25 that they want to lose of the 50. So there's some really interesting and hard negotiations that they're going to do with landlords. And to your point with the retail expert earlier on in Business Newsroom Live, there is this issue around, do you want a big store empty if you're a landlord, or do you want someone in it but at a reduced rate? So it's possible that maybe not quite so many stores close. It's possible that they all do. We just don't know at this stage.
A lot to talk about on both sides, clearly. As to the future, if Debenhams manages to find its way through this, what would the fewer and better stores that the boss was talking about, what would they look like?
Well, the whole idea now is experiential shopping. If we're not spending so much in stores and we're more likely to spend online, perhaps what we're going to do is we're going to see these as more like showrooms. But it's very difficult to know where this money is going to come from, because the numbers today state that investment in stores is going to reduce.
Victoria, thank you very much. Victoria Fritz.